Hello, everybody, and welcome to the next episode, the new episode of the Nerd Soup Podcast, Take 2, because this is the second take, the second attempt to record this podcast. We were going to release it yesterday, but you can check our Twitter feeds and see why that didn't go. It's been a tough couple of weeks.
It's been crazy.
For over here.
That's a good name, for our podcast. You know how they have first take on ESPN? We could be second take, because it always takes at least 2 takes for us to release anything.
I don't want to be associated with them. I don't like those people.
I'm just saying.
They're not good people.
All right.
Yeah, so you could check the Twitter accounts, the Monkey's Twitter account, Aaron. Aaron, how you doing?
Doing great, man. It's been
And that's a fire alarm, so...
I feel like they know every time we're recording. They're like, yep, let's... Because it's not too many hot takes. They need to ring the alarm, you know?
Yeah, so yesterday, one of the most unbelievable things that I've ever seen in my life happened, where we're going to record the podcast. It's me, Aaron, and Teddy. And I tell Teddy, I'm like, Teddy, be conscious of your sniffles, because he's always into the mic. I'm like, Ted, come on, don't sniff so much. It's very annoying for me and for everybody listening.
Yeah.
And he says, okay, you know what? On this podcast, I'm not gonna sniff at all.
He was like Larry David, like, sniffle. I never sniffled in my life. Me? Come on. I never sniffle.
I've never seen anything like this. About 10 minutes into the podcast, the guy is hacking up loogies. He's sneezing constantly. He's running to the bathroom, coming back. He's got tissue stuffed up his nose. He was perfectly healthy when we began, which is the most amazing part.
One of the most disgusting things I've ever witnessed in my life. He sneezed with the tissues up his nose, and you can hear, like, it try to come out, but it didn't. It was the weirdest sound I ever heard in my life. And it will give me nightmares for the rest of my life.
Yes, it was disgusting. And now he has the flu.
Yeah.
So if we get sick, and I'm recovering from being sick, too. That's the thing.
Flu's contagious?
The flu is contagious?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like through the air? Or does he have to sneeze on me?
I'm pretty sure it's contagious through the air. And through liquids.
Ugh, man. I better not get sick.
Yeah, I'm. That's the thing. I'm on the come up.
Oh, my God.
I can't be on my way back down. It's ridiculous.
Oh, man. He thinks he's got it bad before. If he gets us both sick, he's done.
Does Teddy really have it bad? He's got it pretty well.
Yeah.
I mean, we give him a hard time on the podcast, but in regular life, he's doing pretty fine.
Yeah, but in this
is what
world,
we have.
Yeah.
And we hold it dearly. You can also listen to this podcast on iTunes at the Nerd Soup Podcast and SoundCloud at the Nerd Soup Podcast. And make sure you send in your fan questions at NerdSoup4U, for the number, you the letter, and on Twitter at NerdSoup4U at twitter.com, that old website. And yeah, send us your fan questions. But first, we're going to start off today by talking some news stories. And I think today we'll start with the Captain Marvel trailer that dropped yesterday. This is very much a anticipated movie and an anticipated trailer because it's really our first look of Captain Marvel in action. We only got to see that post-credit scene. We saw her logo, but now we're seeing Brie Larson don the costume and fight for justice and good and all that jazz.
I love the look of her costume. I remember, like, the green one, everyone was freaking out. They're like, what the hell is this? But that's why you got to wait for the trailer and get something else in set photos, because that looks fucking awesome. I am pumped. I love the trailer, too. It was very basic. Not basic, but simplistic. It didn't really give much to the overall story. We got some hints. I love how they're going to they're going to play with the fact that she's been to Earth and she's going to have flashes and kind of memory jogs throughout the film. I think that adds something else to a Marvel movie that we might not have seen before. And it just has a different vibe. I'm hoping very much to have that Winter Soldier feel to it.
Yeah, it does. The tone is a bit Winter Soldier-y. But I like when movies are told out of chronological order. And it reminds me of Batman Begins as well, where you would get hints of his origin and then moments in the past, moments from his childhood, moments in the future. But it looks like we're not going to get that straight-up origin story in this movie, which is, a lot of people complain about the origin story these days, but I think the genesis of a superhero is the most interesting story you can tell. And then it kind of gets hard from there. How do you follow that up? It's always fun to watch the coming of age of a superhero. But I like this because she's going to play such a big role in Avengers 4. I think we can both say that.
Don't put words in my mouth.
Well, based on what we've seen,
all right,
you don't think she's going to play a big role?
No, I do, but
okay.
Don't assume what I think.
Yeah, she looks great in the costume. I mean, I wish she would smile more.
Well, that's a lot of comments.
That's an internet thing. I wish he would, because Captain America is skipping around in his first trailer, and Thor, they're all having a great time.
Well, Thor's smiling more actually.
Yeah, he's smiling. That's the thing. Your first movie, you're gritty, you're grizzled, you're not comfortable in your own skin yet. And apparently, she's like a super assassin, working for the Kree.
Nice,
punching grandmas.
That's dope. Fuck.
I love people who
grandma.
aren't familiar with the Skrulls. What the fuck? This is weird.
My favorite shot of the whole thing was the opening look at the blockbuster. It's like, just so you know, we're going back in time a little here. This isn't. So when you see two-eyed Nick Fury, don't freak out because we showed you that blockbuster and there's no such thing anymore.
Teddy was saying that Stan Lee is 100% going to be a blockbuster janitor. You here for your late fees? Yeah. Are you the one who took out Bad Boys 2 7 weeks in a row?
Yeah, I'd like to rent this movie. The Batman. This movie stinks.
Yeah, probably. That's very in line with Marvel. Overall, the trailer, Samuel L. Jackson, the de-aging technology. I mean, I'm a big Samuel L. Jackson guy, and he looks great. And obviously, those are the shots that they're going to let us see, where it's very polished. And when we're watching the movie, that's something that I don't know if it's going to give me the uncanny valley, but I'm going to be looking out for it the whole time. I'm always going to be squinting. Is there something off there? Is there a little CGI? I don't know.
I think it's easier to do it with Samuel L. Jackson rather than Carrie Fisher or with Tarkin, who wasn't even
alive
at that time. But you can use his, like, he still holds some.
No, it's just him acting.
Yeah, he still holds like a lot of the same features that he had. Put some hair on, take the eye patch off. He's a new guy.
It is cool. I know Phil Coulson, actor Clark Gregg. They also de-aged him a little bit. It's easier for him. I think he's in his 50s, so take off 20 years. It's not that hard. But she looks great in the role, and I also want to say I'm so tired of people comparing Captain Marvel with Wonder Woman. This whole debate, this whole argument that's been brewing on Twitter over who's a better actress and who did it first. Do you think of these things when you watch these trailers?
No.
That's what gets me the most, is that I never think about DC versus Marvel. I just think, oh my God, it's a superhero movie.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I hate it. It's so annoying. It's not, I feel like people...
They love it. They love to do it.
I know, but it gives everyone else a bad rap, like, oh, Marvel and DC fans. It's like most things in life, where there's one side that's passionate and the other side's passionate, and they're like, everyone else is just like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I'm not, like, I don't care enough to go on Twitter and yell at other people to do it, so it seems like those people don't exist. Same thing with, like, Star Wars. It's like, I feel like most people are just like, oh, okay, it was okay. But then you have the people who love it, the people who hate it, and they just constantly go at each other, and all of a sudden Star Wars fans are toxic.
Well, Star Wars, the fan base is just beyond fixing.
Yeah, because a few bad apples ruin the
is it a few bad apples? I feel like it's a couple more than a few.
No,
it's like a two. Like
I guarantee everyone else is just like us, where we don't care enough to go on Twitter and do anything.
Yeah, Star Wars is okay. Let's move on. We got another superhero story. Henry Cavill. This is news that broke about a week ago. He is no longer going to appear in DC movies playing Superman. And this is news that broke your heart, because I know you're a big Cavill guy.
You want to hear my reaction if I was Norm Macdonald?
Okay.
Henry Cavill reportedly will no longer be a part of the DCEU. Sources close to this situation say the turning point was when Henry Cavill realized that he was a part of the DCEU. So,
he didn't realize it. He thought it was Marvel.
I don't have the same delivery as Norm, but...
No, yeah, because you're not Norm.
No.
Or an impressionist.
No.
But the thing is, too, I mean, DC, they have to focus on their other movies. They have to focus on the Harley Quinn movie. They have to focus on Birds of Prey. They have to focus on Batgirl, Flashpoint, Cyborg, the Joker standalone, the Joker Jared Leto movie, the Joker when he's a kid movie, Superman's parents, the Superman dog spinoff, the Batman spinoff, Batmite,
Whoa.
Batman and Robin.
Whoa.
Cassandra Cain's getting her own movie. Swamp Thing, Etrigan the Demon, Morbius, that's a Marvel character. So they've got a lot on their plate. So when you have all those movies, and then you look at Superman, your biggest and most recognizable character, the heart of your universe, what are you going to focus on as a studio, Aaron? I pose that question to you. If you're running a studio.
I lost you at Superdog. Crypto.
Vibe. You're into that?
No, I'm like, oh, he's just going to do this thing, and I'm just not going to pay attention. Yeah, they do. It's so weird the way it's set up. Like, just thinking about it, too. Like, we got some set photos of the Joker origin movie, and I just feel like someone who's not in tune with the DCEU and all the comic book movies are like, what the hell is going on? Like, How
really?
are you gonna
I feel like they don't care.
How are you gonna set up a whole cinematic universe and have a spin-off that's unrelated with the same character that you're gonna do a solo movie with plans in the DCEU? Because they were gonna have a Joker with Jared Leto movie with Harley Quinn, and they just there's no fucking they have no plan. It's a mess. It's like the way they set it up too. Like if I was Henry Cavill, fuck it. Like I only got one standalone movie. I'm fucking Superman's the.
Yeah, but he's also played the character 3 times.
Some might argue he never even played the character of Superman.
Okay, well,
you know, it's a little.
Instead of getting to these philosophical arguments,
Hey, I'm just saying.
he has played the character more times than Michael Keaton played Batman.
But look at Iron Man. He had 2 full movies before the Avengers, and every other.
Yeah, but that's also lightning in the bottle. What this proves is that Marvel, what they're doing in Marvel, is just so rare and so difficult that so much has to go right for your cinematic universe to work. I'm starting to think that cinematic universes just don't work. There's so many problems that we can go over. We can go over beat for beat all the problems, all the mistakes that they've made. But, I mean, Henry Cavill is not one of them.
No.
Just get a good director, get a good writer, make a Superman movie. You might make $1 billion.
You're set up to fail. He never had a good script.
Yeah.
I do like Man of Steel, and I do like Batman vs Superman, and Justice League I thought was pretty good, but it's nowhere close to the success Marvel had. And just from the outside, I can tell not everyone loves these movies. They are very polarizing, and I think the people who like it try their best to defend it, even though they kind of know deep down it's not that great. But if I'm him, I mean, what they asked him to do a Shazam cameo, I'm like, all right, enough of this. Like,
well, I think it was the Shazam cameo. They just didn't want to pay him. Because I heard on another blog, on another podcast, that after you've played a character 3 times, the 4th time you get a big pay raise.
Because they usually start off
it's a typecast clause.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah. So apparently Warner Brothers was like, is it Shazam cameo? Maybe not. We'll save it for your solo movie in 2024. And he's like, what the fuck? I'm going to go play Bond. I'm going to go do The Witcher. I mean, and the funny thing is, too, we've talked for months about Batman leaving, and which makes more sense. I mean, you cast a 45-year-old actor with substance abuse problems, and listen, he has a disease, and he's getting treatment, and I hope he does better, because I like Ben Affleck as a performer. He's my favorite Batman, but how is Cavill the one who leaves before Affleck? Which tells me there's not a shot in hell Affleck is coming back.
Speaks to the dysfunction of the Warner Brothers and how they're handling this. It's a mess. When you look at Marvel, too, I feel like they're just trying so hard to feed off the success that they're having, where they're trying so hard to catch up to them, and Justice League fucking bombed.
Yeah.
To have an ensemble film like that and not do well when you barely set it up, it's just embarrassing.
I think they should reboot it at this time.
It sucks, too, because, I mean, there's some positives. I mean, Ben Affleck probably won't go back, but I agree with you. He's one of my favorite Batmans. Well, no, he is my favorite Batman. But Gal Gadot emerged as Wonder Woman. Everyone loved that movie. Patty Jenkins. You have a lot of talented people there. It's just the way it was set up, it's kind of going to bring them all down. Because do you think they would go forward with, like, just pick and choose who they want to reboot it with? It's like, oh, we liked Patty Jenkins and Gal Gadot's version of Wonder Woman. We'll bring them back. Aquaman, let's say that does good and people like it. Oh, we'll bring Jason Momoa, but we'll get a new Superman, a new Batman, a new Flash. That's even worse.
Yeah, I guess the movie that you could say that it starts over with is Shazam, because he hasn't been in any other movies. So if you want to reboot it, that's a good starting point. Obviously, Joaquin Phoenix is not going to do another superhero movie. That's why they wanted him badly for Doctor Strange, and he said no, because they wanted to sign him up for 15 movies. So I think Shazam is the movie where you could say he's the first hero in your universe, and then maybe you get an unknown actor to play Batman. You do 25-year-old Batman, year 1, detective
not John
Batman.
Hamm. Please not John Hamm.
Yeah, don't go that route again. Unless you're going to say, hey, no more cinematic universe. We're just going to focus on the characters. Let's do an older, gritty John Hamm trilogy with Matt Reeves, detective Batman.
That's fine, but if you
Sign me up for that.
If you want to do a long...
No, but if you want to do the cinematic universe, you need to go young Batman. You need somebody who would be willing to sign a 7-picture deal, similar to like Sebastian Stan did for Winter Soldier. Somebody that is going to commit to the character for at least 5 to 10 years. It's the joke that they make in Deadpool. They're young enough to carry a franchise for 8 years. That's really what you need to do. Because Batman, you can make the argument Batman or Superman, who's the face of the universe. It's Batman at this point. His solo movies make the most money. I mean, Dark Knight Rises made $300 million less than The Avengers, and that was their biggest movie at the time. That just shows you how big Batman was, or is. So you need to go young with Batman. I mean, you could find new actors to play these roles if you want to try the cinematic universe again, but I feel like there's just a bad taste in my mouth in particular when thinking about we're going to restart it already.
It's all there, too. I mean, the animated movies are great. The comics are great. It's just they can't put it on screen. Oh, it's exhausting.
Yeah.
It's really disappointing, too, because I'm a DC guy. And...
Well, let's talk about the Joaquin Phoenix Joker pictures. What did you think about those?
There were pictures, and Joaquin Phoenix was in it. And they're from the movie The Joker.
All right, let's move on. What do we have next? I'm serious.
Yeah, okay.
That movie does look good, I'll say that. It looks like, I mean, Joaquin Phoenix is the guy that you want to play that character, and he's obviously going to be compared to Heath Ledger. If there's one actor that can get himself into that class, I think it's Joaquin Phoenix. And the style of movie I want, a lot of people, I think one of the questions on Twitter, too, was, do you think that they're going to take some inspiration from The Killing Joke? And I hope not. It looks like they're taking a little bit, that he's a failed comedian and that he becomes the Joker. But I think it's a comic it's a little bit outdated. But they can take elements. There's rumors that Batman's going to be in the movie. Thomas Wayne is in the movie, so I don't know what's going on with the timelines. Is Batman an 11-year-old boy? So, I don't know. Maybe John Hamm is the Batman in that universe. That'd be interesting. See if Joaquin Phoenix comes back for one more.
Yeah, that'd be a nice surprise little cameo where it's just a one-off thing. That'd be cool for John Hamm.
But I it's going to be rated R, right?
Hopefully.
Yeah. So if it's rated R and if it's like this really trippy, nihilistic movie about this man who just loses his mind and it's got some surrealist elements, and I think that would be really interesting to watch. I mean, because if it's got a Taxi Driver vibe, and I don't love Taxi Driver, but if it's done in that vein, then I'm very excited to see it.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Yeah, Marvel. Very comic book centric today.
Yeah, we have another story involving comic book characters. Marvel has announced that characters like Loki and Scarlet Witch are going to get their own spin-off television shows on the Disney streaming service. That's big news.
Yeah, it's fucking dope.
I love to hear this, too, because I'm a big proponent of the home theater and doing movie-style productions on television.
I think it's that 6 to 8 episode miniseries, so...
Yeah.
Hey, man, that's...
Imagine if they had like $100 million budget for each.
Well, that's what you want. I mean, you're starting a streaming service. You want content like that. Like, that's going to make people buy it, and that's awesome to hear. I wasn't expecting anything like that. I thought they were going to do more new characters that aren't really prominent in the MCU, kind of like what Netflix is doing, but with different characters. But now that we're getting Scarlet Witch, Loki, maybe get something like Killmonger origin story or something like I don't know, maybe War Machine or something like that. That's interesting. I would definitely can't wait to see that. And it's not official yet, right? It's just rumors.
It's not official, but yeah, it's rumors. And I'm just interested to see the look of the show, because when you take them from movies to TV, you don't want it to look cheap. You want to keep that movie quality.
We always talk about like how these streaming services need their big, that thing to draw them to it. I mean, Netflix, you have something like Stranger Things, and some will say they're still looking for that Game of Thrones type where Amazon is doing Lord of the Rings. And Star Wars is going to be going to a streaming service too. I mean...
The Disney one.
Yeah, so if you can...
They're doing their Jon Favreau show. I think it's 10 episodes.
So if you can build around that, I mean, right away you're going to be making money. People are going to be flocking to your service.
Yeah, we were so excited too about the Amazon series when it was reported that it was a $1 billion budget over the course of, I think, 4 seasons. And to me, that's where, I mean, Amazon has the money to spend. Disney does as well, but Amazon's got just bundles of cash.
If I was Jeff Bezos, man, I would just be like, throw money at anything I like.
They see the success of Netflix, that they're producing all of these shows, all of these movies. And I think Disney is realizing that they're not in that same type of debt, but maybe they have more capital that they can work with. And you want to take that audience from Netflix over to the Disney streaming service. You want to say, hey, this is something different, where not only can you get content that we're going to buy the rights to, like reruns of certain shows like a Seinfeld, even though that's on Hulu, but you know what I'm saying, that we're producing original content that has movie quality production. That's a game changer. If they can do that for their Marvel series, I mean, and then, like you said, it doesn't stop with just Loki and Scarlet Witch, but Tom Hiddleston is an A-list actor. Loki is an A-list character in the MCU, and he just died in the movies. What better way to bring him back than a prequel television series? It's just so new, and it gets me really excited hearing this and hearing the Amazon news. So I want to see a Moon Knight series next. I think that would be awesome.
Yeah, it was funny. I think in the Emmys, who's the guy? Colin Jost. He made a joke saying like how much money Netflix is scheduled to pay out next year.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, it makes you think. Like my pitch idea must have really sucked to not get picked up by them.
Well, if it was anything like his stand-up at the Emmys,
Yeah,
I could see why it wasn't picked up. They were not good hosts.
No, the whole show was kind of weird. I mean, I love award shows, but
It's that comedy it's just getting so lazy.
they need Ricky Gervais.
Society.
Every now and then, they need him to come in, shake things up, spit in Hollywood's face,
Yeah.
and just walk off.
Well, it's not even spit in Hollywood's face. It's just the jokes have become so easy now.
Yeah.
And so lazy. Everything is, let's take a jab at the president. And,
Kind of felt like they were patting themselves on the back a little too much.
yeah.
It's like, oh, look at all these like nominations, and they're making a joke like, oh, what do you mean it's not fixed? It's like, yeah, no shit, it's not fixed. It's like, all right, I didn't bother me too much, but I guess
I just can't take the politics anymore.
yeah,
I can't take it.
I like the show though. I mean,
I heard everything else about the show was good, like the winners and the speeches and the moments, like Henry Winkler winning his first Emmy.
That was cool. The guy
proposal.
who won, he won for directing the Oscars.
Right.
Kind of ironic, right?
That's another thing. Just keep me out of that. Keep it in the bedroom.
What, the proposal?
Yeah, I don't care.
I was a little upset that Lena Headey didn't win, but Tandy Newton was great on Westworld. She took home the gold, which was well deserved.
That.
Anyone else besides her would have been ranting and raving, but I can accept that. And Peter Dinklage won for season 7 of Game of Thrones, which
It's another weird thing about award shows where it feels like they're always 3 years behind, where they're awarding shows for when they used to be at their peak. When Game of Thrones is winning Best Drama Series for season 5, season 6, and season 7.
season 7 was great. Season 6, I mean.
No, season 6 was great, but it's then it doesn't win for like a season 2 or a season 3 or a season 4. It's so weird.
I even said like even the worst season of Game of Thrones is better than anything else on TV, and I think that held true because it was better than Westworld season 2.
It wasn't better than Twin Peaks last year.
Twin Peaks is limited and didn't get nominated, which is another discussion altogether.
Right, but a lot of people made the case that The Americans was better. It's season 7 of Game of Thrones is not better than season 2 of Westworld in my eyes. Not even close. Some of those episodes in season 7 of Game of Thrones are,
Really only Beyond the Wall bothers me.
Yeah, but even like the first 3 are just, what are we doing?
I don't know. It's very subjective.
How do you answer these charges, Lord Baelish?
You're nitpicking at this point.
The whole everything with Arya in season 7 is terrible.
Yeah, okay.
And Sansa.
All right.
And your favorite character got his throat slit.
Cersei's fine. What else is there? Claire Foy beat out Evan Rachel Wood. One thing, I don't know if you can shed some light on this. So Thandie Newton won for Best Supporting Actress. Why wasn't she a lead actress?
Oh, because that's a thing where
you can make the argument that Maeve was just as prominent as Dolores in Westworld season 2, and Ed Harris and
but she gets her Emmy now.
Yeah, but I'm just saying Ed Harris and Jeffrey Wright were both lead actors in the category.
Yeah, but
so
they put her supporting, so she has a better chance to win.
So Lena Headey got robbed.
I mean, who cares at the end of the day, right? It's all subjective.
I always say like, oh, who cares? It's subjective. It's an award show. I can't do anything about it. And when my people who I want to win lose, I get upset.
Yeah, I mean, it's also, I guess when Mad Men was big, they should have put John Hamm for Best Supporting Actor so he could win it over Cranston, or instead of Cranston always beating him. Like, oh, Hamm's supporting. Because he never won, right?
Hamm?
Yeah.
He won a Golden Globe. But he never won the Emmy for Best Actor, right? Well, he was going against Cranston.
Yeah, right. It's just bad timing. So I think they're thinking with Thandie Newton, put it as supporting. I think you could say Maeve is a main character, but she's not the lead. But like you said, it's different with Ed Harris and Jeffrey Wright. Jeffrey Wright is kind of supporting as well. Ed Harris, I would see, as the lead. I would say the 2 leads of Westworld have become Evan Rachel Wood and Ed Harris. But They do that. Viola Davis for Fences, obviously the co-lead of that movie with Denzel, and they put her at Best Supporting. And she won.
Yeah.
And she probably would have won.
It's kind of like
Best Actress, better chance.
Golden Globes, they do like Leo and Matt Damon being nominated for Best Comedy, actor in a comedy.
It's you get the stars out,
yeah,
get them their awards.
I just can't wait for next year when it's Amy Adams up against Emma Stone for that.
I hear Maniac's good.
Best Actress in a Limited Series.
I hear Maniac's really good.
That's gonna be star-studded next year because you're gonna have Big Little Lies returning. So you get that whole great cast.
Is that really a miniseries though? They're doing 2 seasons?
Yeah, what the fuck's with that?
Yeah.
That's weird.
See, it's all messed up.
Well, I guess they might move it in now that I got a second season. Might bump it up to that.
But even Dinklage winning, it's a couple of years too late.
Well, I think
Here's your Emmy for the season 4 speech again.
He should have won for season 4.
Right, but then they gave it to him for season 5, which I think Tyrion actually has a pretty good season looking back, season 5. But season 7, he literally did nothing. What was the scene that they submitted? What was the episode?
Well, I thought Nikolai Coster-Waldau should have won.
Yeah, I think you submit the finale for Jaime. That scene when he leaves Cersei I think that's his best scene he had a really strong season 7.
Probably the finale with Tyrion and that conversation with Cersei.
Jaime is coming off a couple of weak seasons, I think. 5 and 6.
Yeah.
But I think there's going to be somebody next year and I think Jaime's actually going to have a pretty big role in season 8. He might get it next year. I think next year might be his consolation prize where it's...
And Lena Headey. She has to get one.
They're going to rack in a lot for season 8 because it's going to be the final season. And I think it's going to be really good. I think it's going to be unlike anything we've ever seen on TV in terms of how epic it really is.
You know what Tyrion lost to in season 4?
Yeah, he lost to Aaron Paul, right?
Yeah.
But that was the final season of Breaking Bad, right?
Yeah. But you know what Aaron Paul just got cast in? Well, not just, but we've been away for a while.
Westworld season 3, right?
Yeah.
And that's our next story.
See how I fucking do that?
Yeah, I don't know.
He had no idea what was coming. It's like, oh, why is he asking me about Tyrion in season 4? Peter Dinklage.
No, at first, yeah. No, you little-fingered me.
Yeah.
But now I'm going to just get my little brother to see into the past, and then we'll kill you.
Whoa.
Yeah, so Aaron Paul cast in Westworld season 3. I don't even know who the hell he would play, but this is interesting. I like when they take an actor where he's kind of been typecast, too. I mean...
He did nothing after Breaking Bad besides those, like...
Xbox commercials?
Need for Speed and that treadmill commercial.
And he does the Nissan voiceover.
Okay.
I always used to hear him on the radio when I was delivering. It's like, oh my God, Jesse, shut up. Although I would love to see him come back in Better Call Saul. But he's been typecast in a lot of things, even though I haven't seen them. So it's going to be interesting. People are saying he might be playing a board member of Delos. He might be playing one of the higher-ups.
Yeah, I like that.
I really want to see a character that was mentored by Dr. Ford. I would love for him to be like Dr. Ford's pupil. That's somebody that he was kind of grooming to take over. And then just somebody who has that.
You want to hear a joke no one's made yet? Yeah, robots, bitch. No one probably made that joke, right?
Science, bitch.
Yeah.
I did like freeze all motor functions, bitch.
All, yeah.
That's got to happen. You got to include one of those.
I'll turn it off.
Yeah, so I'm glad because I think Aaron Paul is actually he's become an underrated actor.
Well, it's easier too when you're attached to a project like Breaking Bad where you become that character year after year. It's kind of like by the time that finale hit, he was fucking Jesse. So you can just tell that helps your performance so much. And then when you go away from that and you just do these one-off films, I feel like you kind of lose that a little bit. It takes a while to adjust. Unless you're Bryan Cranston and he can just go into any fucking role he wants. Yeah, well,
he's excellent. I mean, might be the best actor living today, but I think Aaron Paul is he's become very underrated. His arc as Jesse Pinkman is one of the best. You can say that it's right up there with Walter White. I think I enjoy it a little better, honestly. I enjoy the Walter White performance, but just the pure arc. And the way that he plays that character is incredible. But yeah, it's exciting casting and can't wait for Westworld Season 3 in 2027, whenever it's coming out. All right, we got some fan questions?
Yeah, we do. Also, I asked about the Emmys. We had You-Know-Nothing Jon Snow asking about the Joker movie. He actually asked if it was going to be related to The Killing Joke and if you would like that. I guess we can talk about that a little. They have similar premises, I guess, with the Joker in the beginning where he's a failed comic and then he kind of spirals into the Joker we know. Do you think they'll go that route at all, or you think it's just going to be... Because it kind of looks like it. And I think some of the early stuff, synopsis coming out, is that he is a failed comedian. His name is Arthur Fleck.
Yes.
I wouldn't like a straight remake, but if they can take some things here and there from that, I think that'll be interesting to see.
Like you said, I don't want to see a straight-up adaptation. You take some pieces and let Todd Phillips... Let them do their thing with the character. You can't really say, oh, stay faithful to the Joker character, because what is the Joker? There have been so many interpretations of him in live action and cartoons. I mean, people make the case that Mark Hamill is the second best Joker of all time. A lot of people think he's better than Ledger. I don't. But
It's so different. You can't even compare the two. One's doing a voice, which is really good, but the other is actually acting.
And the personalities, too, are different. Where Mark Hamill's Joker he's fun, he's a clown, and he's charismatic. Heath Ledger's Joker is a fucking lunatic. I mean, there's just no personality there except for chaos. So
Chaos is a ladder.
Chaos is a ladder. I hope they kind of take some inspiration from a couple of the comic books, because like I said, there's been so many different interpretations of the Joker, but they're all at the core, they're all the Joker. So I think that they're going to do a fantastic job. But don't shoot Barbara Gordon in the spine. I don't need to see that. I don't want Oracle.
All right.
I want Batgirl, son.
Really?
Yes.
I thought you didn't like Batgirl anymore after I repeatedly crushed you with her in Injustice.
No, I just got better with Batman and then crushed you.
I would wipe the floor with you, Batgirl. It got embarrassing for you at a certain point.
Why are you flexing your biceps while you say that?
I'm stretching.
It's very strange.
Intimidating, huh?
Well, I mean, listen, out of all the games that we play, and you're better than me at one of them, so congratulations. The thing was, too, after you were beating me and you left, I, looked up into the sky, and I was like, you know what? I'm proud of that kid. You know, he finally got one. So, yeah. What's the next question? Actually, I got a question here from Jolo at Vix Tunes. Question: why does no one address the fact that the cricket sounds like Brian Griffin? Because I don't sound like Brian Griffin.
It's addressed in every fucking comment section.
But I guess we haven't addressed
okay.
it, I don't think. Not really.
A little bit.
Yeah, but it's
just the same, you're like early season Brian, just the deadpan, straight, no changing in your voice.
Yes, definitely early season Brian. I can't sing. Ooh, I got a question here, too, from Angie Flynn. Top 3 James Cameron movies. I was thinking about old Jimmy the other day.
James Cameron, huh?
Because I was thinking about my favorite directors. I always forget about him. I always forget about Jimmy.
He sneaks in on you.
He's good, man.
Hey, remember me? I made movies.
Remember Aliens? Yeah, they say it's better than the first one.
It is.
I mean, Aliens, Terminator 1 and 2. It's easy.
I feel
he's only made 7 movies. So
I feel like he's become a punchline recently, because he always talks about how he had that whole thing about superhero fatigue and things like that, and then he has 20 Avatar movies lined up.
I'm gonna shoot a movie on the moon.
Yeah. I love Titanic. I don't care. It's fucking.
I don't love Titanic,
one of the
but
first
I'm not one of
movies
those
I really liked.
I don't hate it. I think Titanic is it's a very, for the market that they made it for, it's very effective. But I just can't. It's so silly that I just can't watch it.
You just don't get it.
Here's a young boy and he's poor. Here's a rich girl and she's hot. They're both good looking. They're in love. There's an ice mountain. Crash. I'll tell you what, though, when they hit that iceberg, everything from there is awesome. I just don't like the first 4 hours of that movie, but the last 3 hours when everybody's dying and falling off the ship, that stuff is awesome. And when the band are still playing,
I'm fucking out in a heartbeat. You won't even know how fast I get on the lifeboat.
No, that's an awesome way to die. When the captain's in the captain room and he's...
Have we talked about how
Captain.
Rose is kind of a piece of shit? Just throwing out that priceless jewel when she has a family?
It's cinematic.
Yeah, you know it's not cinematic? Her family's starving because they can't even pay the rent. And he threw out a priceless jewel.
It's like in George Lopez where his father dies and he leaves him the watch. It's like $1 million watch. But then he writes him a letter. He's like, I don't want you to come to my funeral because people don't know I had a bastard son. So he breaks the watch. He's confiding in his mom. He's like, we never needed him. We were fine. And the mom's like, yeah, but at least we got that asshole's watch, right? That's what Rose did. She destroyed the watch, but it's cinematic.
Yeah, I would go Aliens, Titanic, Terminator.
1 or 2.
What?
Terminator 1 or 2.
One. Always the original. Unless it's Blade Runner.
All right, question here from Mother of Dragons. Have you guys watched Avatar: The Last Airbender? And if so, how do you feel about Netflix picking it up for a live-action reboot with the original creators? It's up there with me. It's up there next to Game of Thrones with my favorite TV series, so I'm both excited and nervous. Have you ever seen Avatar: The Last Airbender?
The cartoon?
Yes.
I have.
I haven't. I watched it when I was young, so I don't remember anything about it. But I know they just released the Blu-ray.
Cool Ethan asked about the Avatar, too.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Well, I've heard great things about it. Like I said, I don't really remember it. It's kind of like Dragon Ball Z with me. Like I remember certain parts of it and characters, but I need to go back and watch it. And I'm going to do that. I'm going to buy the Blu-ray and watch it from the beginning because I hear it's just people rave about this series.
Yeah, I watched it when it was like airing as a kid. I don't really remember too much of it, but I remember I liked it. And I never seen the movie, M. Night Shyamalan.
Oh boy,
No.
It's unwatchable.
Really?
It's.
I never had the desire to watch it because.
It's
hey,
legit,
you want to
like
watch the worst movie ever? No.
What about the second worst movie ever, After Earth? He's yeah. I mean, Netflix making a live action series. I'm interested in that. That's
Yeah, that could be their big budget. I mean, Stranger Things is already there, but that could be one of their prominent staples in the Netflix. Yeah, it could be like a 6-season epic where, yeah, I'll definitely check it out. I might watch the cartoon too again because I remember I really did like it, but I don't know if that's just because I was a kid or, but from what I hear, it holds up pretty well. So.
All right, this question is from David. Have any of you guys ever watched The Expanse? I feel like it's a seriously underrated show. That's another show that I haven't seen, but I've heard great things about it. Have you seen this?
No.
It's on I think it's on the Sci-Fi Network. And I think it only ran for a couple of seasons, I'm pretty sure. But people rave about this show. They say it's one of the most underrated shows on television.
Never heard of it.
You've never heard of this?
No. I think I've heard of it, but I never seen it.
No, but that's a show that I'm definitely going to watch in the near future. And then we'll get back to you, David.
I feel like I say that. I don't like to make promises anymore. People are always like, oh, check out this. I'm like, yeah, I will. I'll definitely check that out. And I definitely mean it at that time. Like, yeah, I want to check it out. But then life, man, it just happens. There's always new shows coming out, movies. Wish I could just hit pause.
I close my eye. All right, next question here from Brian A. Kelly. Hey guys, big fan of the channel. What are your top 3 favorite horror movies? P.S. Bring the marshmallow back. Well, the marshmallow is
toasted.
I think
you like that?
He's a little burnt out. Yeah, I think Teddy ate him. We were like, Ted, don't eat the marshmallow. He's like, what? He had all marshmallow all over his face.
Yeah.
I just had a s'more. He's dead. He's never coming back. Top 3 horror movies. That's tough.
It is.
I'm not really a big fan of like the old Halloween franchises like Friday the 13th and Halloween, even though the new Halloween looks good.
I couldn't care less.
My cousin is actually friends with David Gordon Green, so that's as close as I'll ever get to a famous person.
Really?
Being related to me. You could care less about the new Halloween. Did you see the trailer?
I don't care, man.
Oh, you got to see the trailer. You'll care after you see the trailer.
I've seen the trailer.
When they're in the insane asylum and the black and white floor.
Wow, scary.
Yeah, I thought so.
I hate those like
slasher.
Yeah, it was like the 15th one, but it's the second one.
Yeah, but it's like a soft read. Yeah, kinda. A little Fast and Furious going on there. I mean, some great classic horror movies. I mean, The Exorcist is one that I've enjoyed. I even like a favorite of mine would be The First Paranormal. That's not a classic, but the Conjuring franchise is great. I hear The Nun is terrible.
Yeah.
But my top 3, I would say Rosemary's Baby, in no order. Hereditary is up there now, and The Witch. No, actually, you know what? I'm sorry, Witch. Fire Walk with Me, because I would consider that a horror movie.
Horror movie?
Yeah, I would say so.
I'm not really a fan of the horror genre. I do like.
Oh, but you loved Hereditary.
Well, I was gonna say I've liked the recent ones more often. I can't really go back and be like, The Shining, more recent.
I thought you could name a bunch.
that's all I can really think off the top of my head.
Can't really go back.
I didn't care for The Exorcist. I didn't care for any of those Halloween movies, the Jason movies, Nightmare on Elm Street. It's just not my thing. But I loved Hereditary. I liked the Babadook.
Oh yeah, Babadook's up there.
I don't know.
Yeah, I would rather go top 10, top 3, but definitely Babadook.
I mean, movies have scared me when I was like a kid and stuff, but
I'm a big Babadook guy.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, man. I loved The First Paranormal Activity. I loved like the first 3.
Even that, I was really like,
Yeah, you didn't have. Were you with us when we saw Paranormal Activity 3 with Stu?
Think so.
Were you in that? He had the whole theater dying laughing. It was like the guy was performing stand up when that baby crawled out of his crib, and the whole theater's dying. He's like, damn, he wanted to leave his whole life. I'm like, oh, Stu, you're the man. Stu, if you're listening, we love you.
And have you ever? You're gonna finish that theme song?
What theme? Oh yeah, that is right. Yeah, horror is not. You're not big with horror.
No, I never have the.
Did you watch Under the Skin?
No.
Ooh.
You gave it to me last night.
Yeah, well, I let you borrow it, man. What are you doing?
I have a pretty good collection going now. It's like, I don't know, because with horror too, like now that I'm going back, watching all the classics and older movies that I was too young to have seen, I never really want to go back and watch an old horror movie. It just doesn't appease me. All right, said it. Hold on. You do that. Hold on. Yeah, I'm the second.
Was that your attempt at an ending?
No, because I have a bit going in my head, but you gotta initiate the
Okay, yeah. So that really does it for today. We touched on some of the bigger stories in the world of movies and TV and nerd culture. This Week in Geek, Part 2. Yeah. So Aaron, thanks for joining me today.
Hey, no problem. Want to go play some Mario Kart?
Mario Kart? Oh my God. Ted's not here. We can't play Smash, so I can go for some kart.
Dibs on Toad.
Oh boy. I got Yoshi.